Hi, I'm Peter Murray. In this short video, I'd like to introduce you to the Markbass Riverbero pedal. The Riverbero is a state-of-the-art digital effect pedal that gives you access to a wide variety of reverb effects. It uses state-of-the-art, top-quality DSP circuitry, but the thing that's really most exciting about it is that it comes with software that allows you to plug in your pedal to your computer and create whatever reverb sounds suit you, and then load them back onto the pedal, and you have exactly the reverb pedal that you want and need to create exactly the sounds that you want. It's very exciting to have this control. Let me show you how it works.
Let's look at the controls on the Riverbero pedal. Gain controls the level of input into the pedal from -10 to +16 dB. The clip light illuminates when your input gain is too high for the pedal. If this is lighting up often, turn down your gain. Time controls the length of the reverb. So the further you turn it up, the larger the reverb space is. Color controls the frequency of the high pass filter. That means that as you turn it up, it cuts a wider and wider range of low frequencies from the tail of the reverb, making the reverb sound brighter. Wet controls the balance between your dry or unaffected sound and the affected or wet sound. If you want the effect to be more subtle, keep this low. The digital display identifies which preset is active and also shows you how much you're changing the pedal's time and color parameters. Up scrolls up through the presets in the pedal. True bypass is your on-off switch. When the pedal is off, your signal passes straight through the pedal without any deterioration of sound quality. Down scrolls down through the presets in the pedal. On the rear panel, the USB connection accepts a standard USB cable and allows you to connect the pedal to your computer, so you can create your own presets using the supplied Markbass software. Then you store your favorite settings back on the pedal to have them at your disposal whenever you need them. But more on the software later.
Okay, so now we know what all the controls do. Let's plug in the pedal and see how it sounds. So here we are now set up to try out the Markbass Riverbero pedal. I have it plugged into the wall using the supplied 12-volt power adapter. And for the purposes of this test, I'm going to be using a Music Man Bongo 5-string and the Markbass Mini CMD 121P combo and the New York 121 extension cabinet. So this is a 500-watt analog 212 rig. Let's check out some sounds. The Riverbero is pretty simple. You have an up switch and a down switch for scrolling through presets, and there are 6 presets on the pedal. Of course, you can modify any of them or create your own with the software, but the sounds that come on the pedal, the first preset is a pretty short, small room reverb. Subtle, but of course we can change the wet level, that's the amount of reverb. To make that more pronounced. You can change the color, which is basically how dark or bright the reverb is. It's a little bit darker. And we can change the time, of course. We can make the reverb longer. Of course, having a high wet level and a long time is going to make a pretty severe reverb. And we've also got it dark there. It takes up a lot of space in the mix. So we might want to make it brighter. We might want to cut back a little bit on the wet level. And we might want to reduce the time to make it a little more subtle. Generally, you can get away with more reverb if you're doing solo bass than if you're playing with a group. And there's different types of reverbs. Again, this is more of a medium room, still pretty short.
is a larger room with a pre-delay. And we have a larger room still with no pre-delay. And we have a really big reverb. And we have a really long reverb with a serious pre-delay. And of course, any of the time and color and mix controls can be changed on any of these presets. So even without using the software, we have a lot of control on the Riverbero pedal itself.
Now that we've had a look at the pedal itself and learned what you can control using the knobs on the pedal, it's time to have a look at the software.
The software for the Riverbero has two screens. The parameters screen, where you adjust all the parameters of your reverb, and the equalizer screen, where you can equalize your reverb. On the parameters screen, the main controls are, of course, dry and wet. That controls how much dry signal you have and how much of the reverb sound you have. This allows you to control really the intensity of your reverb, whether you're hearing more reverb or whether you're only hearing a subtle amount of reverb. Time, of course, is your overall control of the duration of the reverb. And then color is basically going to control how bright or dark your reverb is. Then you have a lot of more detailed control. For example, the diffusion of the reverb, which is basically the reverb's density, the shape of the reverb, which adjusts the decay, basically the sound of the decay of the reverb at the end of the reverb sound. Pre-delay allows you to delay the beginning of the reverb sound. So you can have the reverb start immediately after your dry note, or you can delay the start of the reverb. And regeneration basically allows you to repeat that delay. So you can either have that delay happen once, or you can have it repeat on and on and on. In the shape you have high multiply and low multiply, which basically control the duration of the reverb over a certain frequency and below a certain frequency. So that allows you to have reverb that maybe starts off more dark and then becomes brighter as it decays, or vice versa. And the time high cut is basically another way to control the color of your reverb. Basically, it progressively makes it darker as you turn this up. So, for example, if I just play a couple of notes here, I can adjust that pre-delay. See here, quite a delay there before the reverb starts, and then the regeneration can repeat that. Or we could just have that happen once. So really there is an incredible amount of control here, and everything you do in the end can be equalized to make it overall more trebly or more bassy, or any amount of control in between. Any presets you like, of course, can be saved and stored to your pedal for use anytime.
Thanks for checking out this video. If you have any questions at all about this pedal or about any Markbass products, please write to us at info@markbass.it. Ciao for now.